Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we're actually in Henford-on-Bagley and we're not building any sort of spooky build because yes, October is over, so technically spooky month is over, even though I probably will still be posting like maybe one or two more like I don't know, like Halloween or thumbnail builds or whatever. But in any case, we're in Henford-on-Bagley today and we're building a build that I wasn't really sure about when I started it. Like, I had a very specific idea in my head, and if I can find the inspiration picture I will put it up on the screen for you guys. But I wanted to build I didn't want to build a bar on this lot. We're on the Cobblebottom street lot. And I believe no, it isn't where the Scott family used to live. It used to be, I believe, a starter home, I think. And it's in the Finchwick area of Henford-on-Bagley, so like the little town square area. But basically, I didn't want to build a bar here. I knew I wanted to build a community lot for my save file. But I didn't want to build a bar because there's obviously the original bar lot that is also in this area, but it's on a little bit of a bigger lot, and I do have plans for that lot. But I wanted to build another community lot in this area because in my opinion there aren't enough of them in Henford-on-Bagley. There's the one bar and I believe that is the only community lot. There's also, I think, like the national park in one of the other neighborhoods whose name I cannot remember for the life of me right now. But yeah, there's only like two community lots in this whole world. So obviously for my save, I wanted to add another community lot, and I decided that this little tiny little lot, it's only a 20 by 15 lot, would be the perfect place for it. So I actually decided to build a little restaurant and cafe. Now, this can function as either of those lot types. It does fulfill all of the lot requirements for both of those lot types, so you shouldn't have any issues with it. You can run it as a restaurant, you can run it as a cafe. It has everything your Sims could need. So yeah, just a little heads up. I did upload it to the gallery as a restaurant just because I wanted to make sure that you would have the custom menu and all of that stuff that I did set up for it. I also set up some like employee uniforms and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's why I uploaded it as a restaurant just to make sure that if you wanted to download it and have those things already done, that it would download that way. Because I don't really know if you set those things up but then upload the lot as, you know, like this one, for example. If I were to set up all of the restaurant like information, like, you know, menu, all of that stuff, and then uploaded it as a cafe, I don't know if the restaurant stuff would transfer over. You know, if you downloaded it as a cafe and then changed it to a restaurant in your game, if you would have the settings that I set up for it, if that makes sense. So I just decided to upload it as a restaurant, just, you know, to make it easier and to make sure that that would work and come through for you guys. But yeah, like I said, obviously you can run it as a restaurant or a cafe. You can also like change up the interior a little bit if you wanted to. You could, where I have the cafe counter, you could easily fit in a bar in that space if you wanted to. And if you wanted to run this as a bar instead of a restaurant, you could do that. Or you could like delete the wall that, you know, obviously separates the kitchen from the rest of the space and then put a bar back there, like get rid of the kitchen entirely. If you just wanted this to be a bar, you could do that. You could also probably fit a bar upstairs if you really wanted to. It might be a little bit cramped, but you could do it. So the way that this lot is laid out, you come in through this little, like, I want to say like front door, but obviously it's a community lot, so there's not really a front door. But like this main door, you come in through that, then you have the little almost like reception waiting like space where your Sims would be seated, where they would be greeted by the host and then be seated. But then to the left of that little like entry space, So, but yeah, basically, yeah, to the left of the little entry space, we have the little like cafe bit. So that's where I have the cafe counter. It's, you know, open with some archways and stuff like that. And then to the right, you have a little tiny little seating space with, I think, 3 little small tables in it. But you also have the stairs that lead you upstairs, where there's some more seating. There's actually a couple of like booths. I know I didn't put in the booths. I not playtested, but I tried out the booths, and then I decided that I didn't want them. So yeah, ignore that. But I ended up putting a couple more tables upstairs, along with the bathrooms. Obviously, they're also upstairs. But then downstairs, there's also the kitchen. So like, you know, obviously that you would need for a restaurant. You have a little kitchen space downstairs. It's really small, really cramped, but it all works. I did playtest this entire lot, so it does function and work as intended. But most of the seating for the restaurant and the cafe are all outside, because I don't know, I liked the way that looked. I loved the idea of your Sims coming here for a cup of coffee or a pastry or something like that. In my head, you know, in real life, this probably wouldn't really be like a fancy sit down restaurant. You could sit down, but you wouldn't come here and like, you know, go for a 3-course meal. It wouldn't be a place like that. It would be more of a kind of like coffee, pastry, dessert type of place, almost like a little tea room or something like that. That was kind of the idea that I had for it. But obviously that's not something you can really do in The Sims. You can set up a menu for a restaurant with only like coffees and teas on it if you wanted to. And you could really easily do that. I believe the menu that I have set up for this lot itself has only coffee and tea for the drinks. I can't exactly remember because I built this lot like not a really long time ago, but weeks ago at this point. I built it, I believe, at the beginning of October or something like that. So it's been a while since I built this. But yeah, so you could do that very easily, change up the menu. Obviously, you can change up this build however you would like. If you wanted to change the color scheme or anything like that, feel free. I know the color scheme might not be everyone's cup of tea, because that is originally the part of it where I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, and I wasn't sure about what I was doing with it. Because yeah, like I said, I had this little like inspiration picture, and I tried like I didn't want to like recreate it perfectly, because that just wouldn't be possible in The Sims. So I didn't even like have that as a thought in my head, like I want to recreate this. I really just took inspiration from a lot of it, even the front, like the shape, a lot of like the front windows, and even like especially the color scheme. That was my like main thing that I needed for inspiration, or that I wanted to take inspiration from, was the color scheme. So the like real life building is this really cute like pink salmony color, and then it has all of these like black windows and doors and accents and stuff. So that is where the color scheme for this one came from, with the pink and the black, and it's way out of my comfort zone. It's not something that I don't think I've ever done a pink build like this. I mean, I've done Barbie builds and, you know, stuff like that, but I've never done a proper pink community lot. I don't think I've done a base game pool that was pink, but that like I don't think that really counts because you can't really see it. There's not a lot of like wall space in that build. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like this one is just, especially in this style, like let's put it that way, like in this style I don't really think I've done many pink builds. I've done like some Victorian houses and stuff like that, but never something that's supposed to look like this old English, almost Tudor like style of building that, I don't know, maybe it was a cottage or maybe it was a house and it's been converted into a cafe and restaurant, or maybe this was what it was built as. Maybe it used to be some sort of old pub, or you know, something along those lines, and it serves a different purpose now than it used to, but they obviously still have all of the main like bones and like iconic vibe and like look of the place. Now for my save file, I am kind of going with the lore almost that this used to be owned, or that it is owned, by Agatha Crumplebottom. So Agnes's cousin, yeah, I believe Agatha and Agnes are cousins. So basically Agatha, let's just say like the nice one of the two cousins, the one that does like a little bit more color in her wardrobe and that is a little bit nicer. And I believe in my head, like in my save, like in the made up lore that I have for my save file, she is the owner of this little cafe and restaurant, so that is why it is so pink. She did definitely maybe like, she probably painted it. It probably wasn't originally this color, but she painted it. And obviously she redid the interior to make it more her style, and the interior is also incredibly pink. There's pink everywhere. I used some of the like loudest and most fun wallpapers that I could find, and you know, I went a little bit overboard. I wanted to make it look very dated but also just cute and homey and inviting and like a fun place to be. So yeah, that's what I decided to do with it. And like I said, it is all play tested, so it should all work. And I really hope you guys like how this turned out. Like I said, it is a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I wasn't entirely sure about it. I mean, it wasn't until about, you know, this point where I, you know, really started putting in all of like the little tiny details on the exterior and stuff like that, like actually detailing the exterior, where I figured, you know what, I actually really like this. Because up until this point I was still like half thinking about scrapping the entire thing. So yeah, I'm really glad I stuck out with it and actually finished it, and I really like the way it turned out. So let me know what you guys think about it. If you want to download it, it is up on the gallery, my gallery ID, as well as a download link, and all of that stuff is always in the description as usual. But we've actually moved on to the interior and figuring out the layout of the space. And as you can see, I did play around with some booths and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I actually ended up going for just a bigger table up there, along with I think another small table as well. But yeah, you've already seen where I have the cafe set up as well, and then obviously the little like entryway with the host station, all of that stuff. And yeah, upstairs the majority of the bathroom stuff is already in, like the main things. I just go in later and figure out a little bit more of the layout and move some things around and decorate. Obviously I jump around a lot in this build because I kept like finding stuff that I wanted to use, or I wanted to do, like I remember something and I'll like hop around, finish that, and then go back to what I was working on so that I wouldn't forget. And you know, I was all over the place with this one. I actually built this all in one sitting, so usually that doesn't happen. Usually I'll work on a build over the course of a couple of days and like just, you know, work on it that way. But with this one, I actually sat down, I believe, and I just sat and I built the entire thing in one day. I believe it was this build, or it might have been another build. I don't know. I did another build in a similar style, like Tudor style, but not in Henford-on-Bagley, in Windenburg. And I can't remember if it was that build or this one that I did in one sitting, because like I said, I built this, like, I'm gonna say almost a month ago, like beginning to middle of October. So I had this huge building, I don't know, like burst of motivation or whatever you want to call it, and I just sat and I built like, I don't even know how many builds, and I finished some builds that I like had in my folder forever that I never finished and everything like that. So I have quite a few things that are pre-recorded, not pre-recorded, but like already built, that I can just go in and edit and voiceover as I need them. But yeah, so that is why I built this before we had the new expansion. Obviously, we don't have the new expansion like at the time I'm recording this. I'm recording this on like Monday the 6th, I think. But yeah, I don't think there were other packs out that I didn't have. Yeah, we didn't get anything in October, right? Yeah, no, we didn't. Sorry, the days are all like, all of the like Sims updates and packs and stuff have all started to blur together for me a little bit. We've gotten so many packs and like big announcements and stuff like that this year. I feel like everything's just blurring together a little bit because, yeah, I don't know, time is just blurring together a little bit. And I do also want to say that I don't know if you guys have noticed it in this voiceover, but I am a little bit more quiet. I'm a little bit lower energy, I guess you would say, and that is just because I am incredibly tired. I am incredibly tired. I have had a like stupidly busy day, and like I had a really busy day yesterday as well. In the course of the past like 72 hours, I have slept maybe 16 hours. Like I slept, I think 5 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday, and then today, not really today, but like let's just say like Friday night I slept like 5 hours, Saturday night like 4, and last night I slept like 6 hours. So I have barely slept in the past like 72 hours, and I am incredibly tired. So I do apologize if I am a little bit lower energy or talking a little bit quieter. My jaw is also still sensitive from the dentist earlier in the week, so I can't really talk as animatedly as I usually would. Is that even a word? But you know what I mean. I can't really like project my voice as much as I normally would when I record. So yeah, that is just why I'm not like disinterested or not interested or whatever. I'm tired. So bear with me. But yeah, so we've actually moved on to starting the furnishing of this build, and like I said, I wanted to make it feel very dated, very kind of like, I don't know, like kitschy almost. Yeah, I know kitschy is a word, I just don't know if this is the correct like phrase to use in this context, but that is kind of the idea that I had in my head. Kind of like, you know, just over the top. Like there's so many things, there's a lot of clutter, there's a lot of florals and pinks and patterns and beads, and just there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of flowers, there's a lot of floral prints, there's, you know, decorative teapots on shelves and bouquets of flowers and vases and candles, and you know, there's just a lot. There's old like plates on the walls that are mounted, and you know, it's one of those like very kitschy type like spaces. You know, you would expect to find this in the house of some, I don't know, like rich aunt, like a rich old aunt or rich grandmother, or you know, something like that. That is kind of the vibe that I was going for. That is the vibe that Agatha always gives off to me. So I wanted to kind of reflect that. Now, obviously, she can't actually own it in gameplay because you can't play with the Crumplebottom, like almost its sisters, but the Crumplebottom cousins. They're not even, because I did check this, they're not even in the manage worlds like family bin. They're not even in there because they're technically, I don't know, they're like coded a little bit differently than other Sims because they don't age, they won't autonomously get married through neighborhood stories or anything like that if you play with that feature. So they're coded a little bit differently. So obviously I couldn't actually have her own this lot. And even if I wanted to, she would have to live on a like actual residential lot to be able to own a community lot. So yeah, I couldn't do that. But we can all pretend. We can, you know, say that that is just like part of the lore of this build, and we can all pretend and live in our little fantasy worlds where that is concerned. I'm tripping over my words. But yeah, so we've actually started working on the exterior a little bit more. So off to the side, we have that little like arch entryway type space that I really liked. I did that in, I could have sworn I did that in another build, or this might have been the first one that I did it in. And then I also did it in the other Tudor style build that I did in 𝘕�㈿𝘬𝘭𝘰. That will probably be going up next week if I remember my own schedule correctly. It will probably be going up next week. So I think I did the kind of like same trick in that one where I have this little like, it's technically a room, but I have it with like archways on both sides, so it looks like a covered walkway type bit, which I really like. In this case, I used it as like almost storage space. I figured, you know, back there you wouldn't have customers or anything like that going back there. It would be more of like a staff area. So I put some like stacked chairs in there, some storage, you know, stuff like that. And that is also how you access the back, where I have a dumpster for your Sims to dive for thrills in. But also just for like realism purposes, a restaurant would have a fairly large, like they would have access to a fairly large dumpster for stuff like that. So they have a big dumpster at the back, a couple more seats, you know, again, more for staff, like if they're taking a break or whatever, and they want to get some fresh air by the dumpster, then they could do that. I don't know why you would want to, but you can. And there's also a door in that little space that leads you into the kitchen area. So you can obviously access the kitchen from the inside as well, but they do have a back door. So I figured, you know, that's another way for the staff to get in there. But we've actually started detailing. Now, this is what I meant when I said that I did jump around quite a bit. I go from furnishing the outside to back inside to like decorating, and like I place down all of the base furniture, like the big pieces first for the layout, and then I go back in and start detailing and, you know, adding clutter and adding pictures and rugs and all of that stuff. So yeah, I did jump around a little bit, like I said. But we're actually almost to the end of the speed build portion of this video. But yeah, like I said, if you want to download it, it is up on the gallery. All of the download information, everything like that will be in the description as usual. It's completely custom content free as well. So I didn't use any CC at all because it is for my save. But I also didn't pack restrict it at all. I just used whatever I wanted to use, whatever I thought would fit best, because again, for my save file, not pack restricted. But all of the build information, like price, if you want to have your Sims buy this as a restaurant, I will have that below. I'll have the original lot name, size, you know, everything and anything and everything that you could need, I will have listed in the description. But with all of that said, we're actually going to go ahead and jump on into the game, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a better look at this build, because I know sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to see it when it's all sped up, and I do cut out some things here and there that I feel might be boring to watch. So I'm gonna go ahead into the game and show you guys around it in real time. Okay, so here we are with the finished build. So this is AGGIE'S Bistro and Cafe. That's actually what I have it like uploaded to the gallery as. But this is the finished build. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play. Hopefully these Sims will stop standing around and doing nothing. But yeah, so out here we just have the little outdoor seating space. I really hate the weather right now. Can you not do that? Let me just fix the lighting. But yeah, so out here we just have a couple of like little seating spaces. We have a couple of really big chairs out here as well. I really dislike these like tutorial stuff that keeps popping up. But anyway, we have a couple of bigger tables out here, and then obviously a bunch of smaller ones. But yeah, so very cute, very pink, very like pastel and floral and just cutesy all around. And yeah, over here we have a little seating space, a little couple of benches underneath this little fake pergola thing that I made. We have our little like walkthrough bit that I'll show you guys, and then obviously out the back we have a little a little dumpster and some seating, you know, for the staff. But I absolutely love the way this exterior turned out. It's one of my favorite like community lot exteriors that I've done in a while. I especially love this detail with these like roof pieces from Get Together that I used and like sized up and moved into the roof. I don't know, I really love the way it looks. So yeah, coming into the build, we have obviously our little chalkboard with, you know, maybe these are the coffees of the day or whatever. And then coming in, we have our seating, not seating, but like host space where you would be seated. What are all of these like? Whatever. Anyway, moving on. The game is just really distracting me today. But yeah, so we have our host station where your Sims would be seated. Over to the left, we have our little cafe space. Now, if you want to download this and run it as a restaurant, you can. Obviously, that is what it's uploaded to the gallery as. So, you know, the game will spawn the correct staff and all of that stuff. But you can also still just click on this and hire a barista to come and tend to this lot, even though it come and tend to this like coffee station, whatever. Even though it's still technically set as a restaurant, you can do that. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. If you don't want your Sims to come here and like order food, they can still come here and order coffee if you hire a barista. So off to the right, we actually have a couple of indoor seating spaces. So we just have 3 small 2-seater tables in here. Very cute, very pastel. We also have obviously the kitchen, which I did clutter up quite a bit because they don't need counter space for restaurants. They just need the chef station. But obviously I wanted to make it look like an actual kitchen. So in real life they would have counter space. They would have like a mixer and, you know, maybe a cookbook. Maybe they have a lot of like Agatha's own recipes in there that they like serve. They have obviously, you know, spices and measuring things, all of that stuff. And in this corner we have a little sink. I put down a couple of like backpacks and lunch boxes. Maybe these are things from the staff that, you know, this is where they take off their coats, put their bags, you know, all of that stuff. Now going upstairs, we have another little seating space with a small table, a little bit like bigger 4-seater table, very pink. And then obviously we also have the bathrooms where, you know, just fairly basic, 2 toilet stalls, 2 sinks, bog standard, if I'm honest. And that is basically the entire build, you guys. Oh yeah, we have our little like storage space. So there's another chair in here. We have a couple of stacked chairs, a couple of like wine boxes and crates and stuff like that. And that is basically it. I don't know why there's a child at the back over here, because there's a lot of, I don't know, children just being where they should not be. But yeah, let me just give you guys a quick little like floor plan overview. So this is the top floor and then the bottom floor as well. But yeah, you guys, this is the finished build. Like I said, it is up on the gallery if you want to go ahead and download it. All of that information will be in the description as usual. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you're new to the channel and want to see some more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. I am part of the EA Creator Network, so I will probably be getting early access to the new expansion pack that's going to be coming out at the beginning of December. Actually, you guys are seeing this video on the 7th, so in exactly a month, the new expansion pack for Rent will be coming out. I did do a trailer reaction to that trailer. If you want to see that, I will leave it linked on the screen. But let me know if you guys have anything that you would like to see me build with that pack, like any particular apartment styles or townhouse styles or duplexes or anything like that. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any inspiration pictures that you would like to share, we do have a Discord server and you can pop some of your inspiration pictures in there if you want to, and I'll take a look at them. And yeah, you can also just come and hang out with us if that's something that you would like to do. So that is always listed in the description as well, right at the top. But a huge thank you to my channel members as well. You guys really are absolutely amazing and I love each and every one of you. I really appreciate you guys' support. And yeah, like I said, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you're having a good week so far and that you've had a good weekend. Let me know what you got up to. Like I said, my weekend was incredibly busy. But I hope you're all having a good day and a great week so far, and I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.